A documentary about Rock Hudson. Who is Rock Hudson? Good evening, it's Adam here again with another quick instant movie review for you. So tonight I caught the brand new documentary Rock Hudson, All That Heaven Allowed. Now this is the latest documentary from American documentary filmmaker Stephen Kijak, and it tells the story of Rock Hudson. Now if you don't know who Rock Hudson is, he was a really well-respected actor of the golden age of Hollywood in the 1950s and 60s. He starred along people such as Doris Day in a lot of really famous romantic comedies and dramas. I think Pillow Talk. He was also in A Farewell to Arms. He was also in Giant alongside, people such as James Dean. So he was really in that ilk with all your Marilyn Monroes, your James Deans. He was really in it. He was all there. He was a good-looking hunk. He made about 76 pictures. He was a chiseled, all-American, 6'5" tall, good-looking cat. He was in everything from westerns to romantic comedies to war dramas. And this being a guy whose original name was Roy, and it definitely wasn't Rock, and he couldn't even act. He didn't even take acting lessons when he was at school. I don't think he could learn any of the lines when he was doing his school drama productions. And Universal saw him. Okay, well, now I'm going to become a truck driver, and a Universal exec saw him and went, right, we want you. We're going to teach you how to act. We're going to teach you how to ride horses, how to fence. We're going to chisel you up. We're going to make you look amazing. And I think his first film, it took about 36 takes for him to get out one line. That was in like Fighter Squadron, I think, in the very late 1940s, early 50s. So, he really put in the hard yards, and men wanted to be him, women wanted to be with him because he was just this good-looking cat, and he was ended up becoming a fine actor. He became an Academy-nominated actor for his role in Giant with James Dean, in 1956. So he was very, very well respected. Another thing that he became very well respected for was the fact that he was one of the first big actors and names to come out and say that he had AIDS or died from having AIDS, and also came out as being gay, which was very interesting because this is one of those actors that was in so many films with so many leading ladies that you'd go, really? Wow, okay, geez. But then if you look at a lot of the way that this documentary has been put together, it seems like it was an open relationships that he was in with all of these men, but no one would ever say that Rock Hudson was gay, and the studios knew that it would destroy his career. Rock Hudson knew it would destroy his career, so it pretty much became blanketed throughout most of his life. He was a figure of the studios. He was a manufactured image of the studio system, and it wasn't until the 80s that really came into foray. And he was on Dynasty with Linda Evans. He found out that there's a few scenes in this, and I won't give too much away, about what happened on that particular shoot, where he was due to be one of the leading characters of that show. So a really interesting documentary, and again, not told with any voiceover line. It is told through voiceovers, but from people that knew Rock Hudson, his partners, his friends, people who have written books about him, directors who have worked with him. So it's a really fascinating insight into this man, a person who's really been forgotten a lot, when other people, such as your James Deans and your Marilyn Monroes have sort of been embodied in time. There's these young images of people where people really don't think about Rock Hudson in that way, when he was a devilishly good-looking bloke. So this really reevaluates Rock Hudson's career, but it does certainly play on the on the sort of I guess the gay aspects or the homosexual aspects of his life, which is really, really interesting. So if you're a big fan of this director now, this director has done a few different films. He did a documentary about Judy Garland a number of years ago. He's done some docos on the Stones, so he does know his way around a documentary. And I think it's done pretty competently. There was a few aspects that I really would have liked to have really delved into, a few more career aspects, whereas this really does flush out the fact that he became an advocate for AIDS, really, and a figurehead for coming out within the gay movement. So it does really heavily play on those parts. And that was a really big part of his career. But I probably would have liked to have focused a little bit more on the films, because that is the one aspect that I was really interested with. But the way that they intercut a lot of his films to show reaction shots to what was going on was really well done. So it is a very well edited film. And if you are wanting to find out some more information about Rock Hudson, I would dare say this documentary would certainly tick that box and give you an insight into this phenomenal man and this real figure of the golden age of Hollywood that unfortunately has very much been forgotten about, I believe. So check it out. Rock Hudson, All That Heaven Allowed, is now out and about, so you can catch it on digital and streaming. So go and catch it. All right. I would probably give this one a 7 out of 10. I really enjoyed it. It was a really interesting documentary. Okay. Go and enjoy some rockin'. I think that came out wrong. Okay. Good night. Bye.